To master class control as a substitute teacher, you need to combine several strategies that establish your authority, engage students, and address disruptive behavior students effectively. So luckily, I have some tips up my sleeve, and if you've been on my channel a while, you know I talk about class control a lot. So this is nothing new. These strategies, though, will help you. One thing to keep in mind is what school you're in. And I want to say this because I've gotten comments or just people like asking me on Instagram like, hey, like I like your strategies, but I'm in an inner city school. This doesn't work. Well, I understand there's a difference between inner cities and then like a suburb school where the kids might be a little bit more better behaved. I understand. These do work, but what works better as a substitute teacher is if you're in inner city schools, like a harder school district or county, it's more about building the rapport with the students and gaining that trust with them as a day-to-day substitute teacher, as a long-term substitute teacher, as their teacher, as the principal, whatever it is. That's what will help you gain control in the classroom. Okay, so these strategies do work and it will take time. Now, if you are someone who's in rural or just no, districts are different. These strategies do work again, but know that it's going to take time. It's going to take patience on your level, grace for yourself, and practice. Set the stage for success. Make sure that you're prepared. Arrive early. Familiarize yourself with the building. Know where the bathrooms are. Know where the teaching lounge is, if you want to eat in there. Know where you're going in the building. Get a map if you need to. And also, if you are there early enough and you need to set up the classroom, you're there to do that on time. You can look through the lesson plan and make sure that you have everything. Or if you have any questions, you can ask the neighboring questions all before the students come. It's a lot of work in a short amount of time. I would say 15 to 20 minutes is a good amount of time before students arrive. Start strong. Introduce yourself to the students clearly and most definitely confidently. Set a positive tone for the day. Communicate your expectations for the behavior and the work ethic that you want in the classroom. Again, establish clear expectations, and you could do consequences as well. Clearly state a few essential rules and outlines and outline the consequences that will go with it. So for example, talking too much, you're going to get your seat moved to the front of the classroom. Something along those lines. Consistency in applying these rules is key to maintaining order and just fostering a sense of fairness and predictability. Building rapport and engaging the students. Learn the student's name. Enough said. Seriously, students will do much better for you if you are able to call them by their name. Even if you have to ask them their name a million times, like just say like, I'm so sorry. Today's a rough day. Do you mind repeating your name again? Or you can have a seating chart, something that will help you. It's super important. And trust me when I say that, the students will start respecting you more when you know their names versus calling them by their appearance or describing them somehow. Build positive relationships. As a day-to-day sub, you can actually build positive relationships. And if you're someone who likes to go to the same building, or you have a couple buildings, but you get to know the students a little more, you get to know them more as the year goes by. So you want to interact with the students respectfully and, of course, positively. Smile, have a friendly demeanor. That goes a long way in creating a supportive atmosphere where students feel safe. I know sometimes that's hard to be like, okay, well, I want to be kind, but I want to be firm. You have to find that middle ground, and you'll find it. It might just take a while. Engage the students actively. You can encourage students to participate with questions, discussions, and even group work. Use active supervision. We call this proximity. Move around the room frequently, and do it frequently. Seriously, do it, because the kids will be on their laptops, their iPads, whatever, and they'll be on Roblox, and they'll be like doing different things, or maybe they're on Google and they're like messaging their friend that's across the room. I don't know. When they're supposed to be on Notability doing their math problems or something. Who knows? But if you walk around, you're going to catch it. You can also just talk to them that way. Like, how's it going? You know, are you having problems logging in? Is it good? But then, excuse me, on top of that, you can just, maybe you see like a student has a book sitting on their desk. I'm like, oh, that's a cool book. Is it good? You know, small talk. Addressing the disruptive behavior. So when you have the disruptive behavior, it's important that you remain calm and composed. You need to keep your voice low and calm. Your composure can actually de-escalate a situation and provide a model for students to follow. You can use nonverbal cues, eye contact, facial expressions, body language. They can be really effective and signal expectations and redirect behavior that's off task. And that way you're not disrupting the entire class. Address the behavior directly and privately. If it's possible, speak to the disruptive student privately, because you do not want to embarrass the student. These kids, and I know when I was in school too, I don't think I ever misbehaved for a substitute teacher. I just wasn't that way. But I probably would be really embarrassed if I was like called out on something and yelled at, or you might have called me out, but you were kind about it, but still that's like it can be embarrassing to a student. And it's a good way to talk to them privately to avoid escalation, reinforce the desired actions, and encouraging others to do the same. Avoid power struggles. If a student is engaging in a power struggle, disengage by calmly stating that you will discuss it with their teacher later. Continuing the back and forth reinforces the disruptive behavior, and it really undermines your authority. Okay, so by implementing these strategies, maintaining a positive, confident, and a prepared approach, you can effectively manage the classroom and create a productive learning environment as a substitute teacher. I believe in you, and I'll see you in this video.